Good evening and welcome to another wonderful Monday night. I know there's a lot of competition. There's two football games tonight, so there's not just one we have to compete with tonight. There's two.
Does anybody really
And
care? I mean, seriously, it's football. People just go up.
listen, the Eagles made it look like, or not the Eagles, the Vikings made it look like it was a baseball game yesterday. That's all I'm going to
I
say.
was
A
thinking
score of 3 to
soccer. I
nothing.
mean, I was waiting for somebody to take their jersey off and run around half naked after they kicked the field goal. Goal.
That was probably about it.
But no, in Minnesota we don't do that. We do the keg stand. That's what we do. Doesn't say anything about our German heritage at all.
No, and trust me, it's not just Minnesota.
Yeah.
I guarantee you on that one. But no, thank you very much for joining us. We're jumping in here to middle of December, and it's cold and dreary out. And so hopefully tonight we are going to light up your life, or maybe just a little bit.
Actually, Dan, you know what?
Cubbie's dog will smile, and we'll all be better.
Cubbie's dog smiles quite a bit. It's just we don't see it. Dan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send over that list of with all of what I've got in the links, because there's going to be a few of these that shoot, my copy and paste is not there. We go. Because there's going to be a couple of things that are on my list that I'm going to want to have you share. And for those of you who don't understand why I'm doing it this way, is because if Dan shares it, then Cubbie can see it, I can see it, Dan can see it, and you can see it. If I share it, you can see it and I can see it, but those guys can't see it. So this will make it so that that you guys will be able to see. The very first one is at the bottom of that I want to. That's the one I want to start off with when we get to that point. So.
Oh, we're going backwards. Now you're just making it difficult.
I know,
for me,
but
that's
I want to go that one. That's like. Okay, but then the third item could be. That's another one that's.
More in the middle of the list.
But then there's the fourth and the fifth items too. They really kind of catch my eye, and then the sixth one is really. But you can't have like 4 and 5 without 7. Man, there's just so many choices. I hope so.
Have you been that good for this year?
The math teacher in my head just went, "What?
Yeah,
you can't have 4 and 5 without 7. That's wrong.
Yeah,
you can have 4 and 5 without a 2 or a 3.
No, you gotta have.
But 7 goes the wrong direction. 4 and 5 would go into 7, not the other way around.
My math description was completely accurate. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Cubbie, Christmas is coming up, and we wanted to talk tonight about things that you would want Santa to bring you if money's no object. It was basically something that would fit into your DJ world. Now, we realize, of course, typically Dan and I are single up. You're multi, so you have to do things in threes. But for tonight's show, I want you to disregard that concept, okay? So this was going to be what would be in Cubbie's best interest, or what would be something that Cubbie would really be excited that okay, this is cool. I would like to have this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time. Cubbie's he's been busy today, so he hadn't had a ton of time to be putting thought into this. So I wanted to kind of set the stage just a little bit more, because I think Dan and I've done this show a couple of times over the years where we've done a variation of this.
Dan's elves can make equipment that doesn't exist. That's on that.
Those are the fun.
Number 1 on my list. I gave up the one that MJ and always used to want. Gave that up. Turned away from me because Santa still wouldn't bring it. I don't know if I'd been bad or just.
Yeah, that's right. We did one where we did a build your own or what would you be the perfect piece of DJ gear? I think that was the one of them.
Yeah.
Oh man, we've done at least a couple of shows over our time together. Okay, so where should we start?
You said the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the bottom one?
Okay, let's do the very bottom of that list there, the Chauvet Professional.
Okay, yep, I got it.
Okay, right. I'm going to make sure that when we pop it up that it all shows. Looks good. So this is actually something that they just released at LDI. Now, this particular light, I'm not going to say how much it costs yet. And for those of you out there watching, don't go and look yet. I want you guys to take a guess at how much this is and put it in the chat, because I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So there's going to be a little bit of a delay in this situation. Take a look at that fixture. Dan, the audio's off. So hit the play on that if you could, and we'll just let that go. Because that's a little sequence of it, which it's going to look for those of you watching.
Back at the beginning there.
it's going to look a little rough because it's streaming and coming across, and it's a screen capture and everything like that. But the idea is that these lenses or these will go back and forth. They can do that 180 degree, 200 degree pivot, and then they are a zoom wash where they can zoom out to a pin spot and they can pull back into in more of a wash, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know, but anyway, they can do a wash in more of a spot. So that, if especially in this video, if you can't see it here because of the it's going to look a little grainy or a little bit stuttery. It's really a really cool effect in multi. I was looking at that and it's like, okay, I want to take that and put like two of them, basically on either side of my system. So maybe like they would be, like in front of the speakers or whatever they were, but you got one to the left, two of them to the left, two of them to the right. And then you could have it kind of going back and forth across, the front, and could bring it in. So, have it tipped a little bit so it could actually come back and, shine on the DJ. You could have some really cool things because you can make them stagger through as far as and chase back and forth. And it's really a cool effect. RGB W, so it's got the white in there. And because this is Chauvet Pro, we learned from Ben Stowe last week or the week before that they have their colors, matching colors of these things can actually happen because they have put better quality LEDs in here than the others. So the question becomes it's a neat light. How much is it if you were going to buy? That's why I want to ask Santa for it. Cubbie, take a guess.
I'm going to go north of 1,600.
Okay, Dan, take a guess.
It's the Pro. So for one, I'm going to go 12.
Okay. The actual retail price is $5,800 per unit.
Oh, Lord.
It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, but it is a cool light. And again, because of it being Pro, as Dan said, they are,
wow,
quite a deal. But
wow.
That was something.
Wow.
Jeff forgot to see. Yeah,
I get the higher price. I get the higher price based upon the things that you mentioned that it has. But wow.
Yeah, that is cool. Kind of
just so you know, the little demo video that they got, I did a quick count, and there were at least 12 of those that I saw in the background. So in order to make what they just did in the background,
you'd have to have a lot of them.
60 grand.
Yeah. When you're the manufacturer,
I get that you get the buy in bulk discount. It's 59,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's you get that 5% off for bulk. Yeah, you're good. You're good. But it's a pretty incredible lighting effect. And if you go to Amazon and you enter the PLX Curve 12 in there, of course there's some knockoff versions that are all just basically one set of four that pan back and forth, that pop up, whatever. But it'll be interesting to see how long it'll take before that capability is going to be knocked off and put up by a different company. Obviously with lesser quality, probably LEDs, whatever. But I think that in groups, that's a really cool light. And again, if Santa brought me 4 of them, I wouldn't complain. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. For that money, I want some RGB WAs.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
put a UV in there too.
Put a UV in there or something. It's just quad LED. That's like. But hey, they're IP rated, so that's kind of nice.
They're not even lime. That's the other thing. It's not even a lime color put in there. It's a RGBW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd probably be a better white than some of the others. So there's that. But yeah, the link is in the in the chat if you guys want to go check that out. It is there for you guys to go and bounce out and take a look at that. And yeah, DJ Now and a few of the others have already got it on their website at $5,800. All right, who's next?
Did they come out with anything new at LDI? Anything else?
Chauvet Pro had a few new things. Chauvet itself, I don't believe did or didn't have much that was talked about. American DJ had a couple of things that were new, but it was most of the things that were at LDI were getting at that production level, higher level. Yeah. We were just not seeing the DJ things released like it used to be. And I was talking to Ben kind of off camera is that he's expecting to see the Eliminator lighting and some of the more entry level companies. Even maybe back up, JMOS, who's been pushing into the DJ industry, has now introduced their Pro line at LDI. So you're going to see like the JMOS Eliminator lighting. Trying to think of who other lighting companies that were really focusing on the DJ. I think you're going to see them at NAMM, and that because NAMM is becoming more that end user show compared to a dealer specific show or an industry specific show. It's now basically not you can't come in there and buy things by any means, but it's something that people can come in there and they do their blog and see the gear, and then they can go buy it 2 months later or 3 months later, whatever it is. So I think you will see more DJ things there. Okay, who's up next, guys?
You want me to keep sharing, or do you want me to?
Let's what you guys can if you've got something a link to share something, go ahead.
Oh, I don't have a link. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't do that part. I just came up with my list.
Yeah, go ahead. Just shut the share off then. And
okay, there we go. So I'm gonna go big.
Oh,
It's like go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
Since you did that, now mine's gonna cost more than yours.
Holy cats!
So Santa better be really nice here. I want a DJ van. I want a DJ van, and I want to do the Sprinter van. If Santa's bringing it to me, can he please bring me a Sprinter van? Just I'm tired of a trailer. I'm really just tired of a trailer, and yet to put it in the back of my SUV, I can do a system. I can't do all of my stuff. So I want that style van that I can take to an event, unload, reload, and then be gone down the road. Santa, please.
So let's talk a little bit about the logistics of that. Now, when I first had the trailer, and when I used to do that, I loved it for out here in rural Minnesota. The only time I didn't is when there was ice on the roads because trailering that. But when I would go down into the Minneapolis-St. Paul, into the metro area where you get into parking ramps and different issues, the trailer was just a complete nightmare. So the truck became an appealing thing. But there were many times with my four-wheel drive truck that I've got on the other side there that I was basically in a parking ramp and I'm looking, it's like, I hope I have enough clearance type of thing. You get into a Sprinter van, wouldn't that limit some of the places you could go even with that?
It just depends upon the roof height that you have. I'm not in a situation. I don't think I've ever been in a parking deck for an event.
Okay.
Ever. I'm sure they're around here, that they exist, but all of my stuff in town is all like on street type places, or they have parking lots.
Okay.
So some of the bigger cities, and some of these other guys can speak to some of that sometimes they have oversized vehicle parking, for those situations. But in all of my career, I've never had to, so that's a risk I'm willing to take, because I'm just tired of the trying to back it up in such a way, and I don't have the backup camera on the trailer that only adds to the okay, did I go back far enough? Oh, let me hop back out, or hooking the vehicle up to the trailer and I have it lined up and I drop it. Oh, but it doesn't want to hook right, so I need to wind it back up and then move it a half of an inch and then do it. I'm tired of all that. I'm just tired of all that. I want my van to be able to fit it all, roll it in, roll it out. Yeah.
And I hear Santa, is good about that. So you should be good.
Listen, if he's gonna bring you 4 of those.
Oh wait, no. I'm changing my request. I want 8. If you're getting a van, 8? I want 8. I want 8. Yeah.
I'd have to concur with Dan. Like when you told me when you started the show, I was thinking van because I love my Danny Maxim, but I also want one like a Toadmatic with a screen in the front, which I don't have that capability because I don't have a trailer. And then I put into is into an Expedition. Chevy Equinox, but a full size one. So I was literally thinking if I could do that, I'd do what Dan had. Then secondary thing would be I'd want a Toadmatic or something with a screen, a case with a screen, like has a screen in the front.
So that's the same question with logistics when it comes to parking and getting to some of the events. Do you have some where a parking garage or the structure may be prohibitive to a van, or is your area not that way?
Yeah. I'd have to say there are some hotels downtown, like the Marriott, that we do have to go down below and the tea room. But it's maybe once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I could park on the street if I had to. But I think a friend of mine has a little paint wagon. It's a mini truck or whatever, and it isn't much taller than a conversion van. that I've seen other DJ companies use.
Sure.
So I think it'd be fine in a parking garage situation.
Interesting. Yeah, I've wondered about that because yeah, I've gotten into a few situations where it's been like, I don't know if I'm going to lose
Yeah,
my.
even in
Well,
your car, you're ducking. You're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you're
and
going
for
down low.
and for
You're
a
like,
lot, we all do that. You know that, right? You're going through and just like, I'm going to tuck. That's going to make my vehicle shorter too.
Mhm.
Uh, but with regard to those vans, and we're not necessarily like, I mean, obviously, Santa's going to bring us what he's going to bring us, but like there is different roof heights for a lot of them. A lot of those companies that have gone to having that, I think, recognized. So I know like the Ford Transits have like a low roof, they have a mid roof, they have a high roof. So depending upon how tall you are and the amount of equipment that you're trying to fit in there height wise, you might be able to get away with, if you do a low roof, it's really not much higher than a pickup truck might be, and the roof on a
true.
pickup truck or an SUV. So I think in some of those aspects, like if you do have one of those situations and you're interested in that, that might be the direction to go with it. So
Oh, somebody was asking what color, Dan.
He's gonna get it
what
for you.
color? Ooh, if you're buying if you're gonna be Santa, if you're gonna be Santa, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go white because I want my logo on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, no.
If I'm gonna go all out, I'm gonna go white. I'm gonna put my logo on it. That's gonna be easier.
And then you can put the Ghostbusters thing on it, and then put some striping on it, and some lights on the top, and then you're decorated for Halloween. You're good.
Yeah, because if it's black, I'm putting the red stripe down the side, down the diagonal stripe.
Yeah. And then
Please tell me. Come on, you guys are
A-team.
not.
A-team.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got worried. There's actually a local van here.
That
Which
it looks like.
there's somebody that has there's no, but it's not like that style of van. Like it's a van, but it's like an old GMC like van, like the little ones, and
Oh,
they
gee.
got that on the back, and then they haul a trailer with it. It's like, oh my gosh, like what? But it's got the
Yeah,
stripe.
Cubbie may not remember the A-team. He's kind of.
No, I'm way old. It's I'm
You
a B team and everything. Remember all
know,
those teams.
Dan, go to the third item if you would please on the list. And I'm going to call this
Yeah,
one.
look at the list. Yeah, look at the list. Yeah, which is the third? Because I
Yep,
opened all the things.
yeah,
And
it's
then,
it's
all right.
the
Yeah, I see now.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is one that I'm going to say is kind of almost a guilty type guilt. I almost feel a little guilty at this because the Hercules stuff, we've had Hercules things here to test and such, and I've always looked at it as kind of a bedroom DJ type of gear, and they comfortably and happily embraced that for the longest time, and then they came out with the T7 that that is has some functionality that a mobile DJ would actually find very interesting.
Yeah.
So I've looked at this and it's like, okay, so there's the part of me that says, gosh, if why would you want to have something that might be two steps back from what you're used to using? It's only 2-channel or whatever. But there's just this part of me that's thinking, I bet you that would be really cool. So
I got to see it live at DJX. It was there. We did a video on it. I'm assuming that was put up at some point, so you can always go back and check it. I thought it was. There's two aspects of this that I thought that were really took this to another level. One was the fact that it is wicked light for a spinning platter controller.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one aspect. And then the other, as you can see right there, is the price. Like that, the one thing that's kind of irked me lately when it comes to our companies and the prices, you got really low and you've got really high, and you don't have a whole lot in the middle right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of gotten very like ugh for somebody who's wanting to buy, because it's like, oh, I've been used to paying this and getting quality, and now it's like almost $1,000 more than what that was, and there's nothing in the middle. So anyway, I
No,
jumped the gun.
exactly. That's what I was kind of. That's why it became kind of an appealing little device. So while I don't, I would have to. If I would, what my comfort level would be to use this as a main with my like weddings and such. I guess it would probably be one of those things you'd have to, utilize it as a practice machine or utilize it in certain situations where you definitely had to build up that confidence that it could be a main controller. And I have no idea what the inputs, the quality of the inputs are and things on it, but the price, and it has XLR outs as far as it's sending out a balanced signal. Just those two things alone made it definitely appealing. So that made my list.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, we let Cubbie think. I'm gonna go kind of, since you brought a controller, I'll go to my controller. Um, I would like Santa to bring me a Pioneer FLX 10. I would like the Flex 10.
Hmm.
I'm not battle style. Those of you that got to see my video with the Rev 5, I think it was awesome. I love what they did with that unit, but I don't like that layout. So for me, that didn't work. But I do like their Flex 10. Got to
Can
see
you
it,
throw
got
it
to
up
play
there,
with it.
Dan?
I didn't
Hang on a
Can you
second, Dan.
Google
I'll
it real
get you.
quick? Yeah.
John's gonna give me the link.
I'll get you the
John's gonna
link
give me the
here.
link.
I was just finding one because they're not everywhere. There we go. That should get you there.
It's a different window. I should go back and share again.
Mm-hmm.
All this technology stuff. I wish I really knew how to run that stuff. All right. So
Oh yeah.
there you go. Yeah. So this is the Flex 10. This is what they used to replace the DDJ 1000. It's a very similar to that unit. They did some smaller updates with it, some extra features that are kind of laden in there. But for the longest time, I was Denon. I had the MC 6000, I had the MC 7000. The 7000 has been discontinued, and I've heard nothing coming to replace it. Now, maybe we'll see something different. But in the meantime, this is the thing that I've had my eye on. So when my 7000 gets to the point of retirement, if I don't see anything better before then, this is where I'm going. I also have a Rain 1 that I like, but this I think has a little bit more um what I'm used to, as far as the standalone platters. I'm not going to reach up and try and pretend to play with them. I think that's the one thing that I get worried about with like a moving platter system, is that if somebody's nearby, I'm gonna feel like I've got to grab it, or like if the videographer comes nearby and is like trying to get that shot, I'm gonna feel like I have to play with it, even though it's doing me nothing at that point. Um, and that's my own kind of thought. But
Mm-hmm.
this is what I would like to see. It has a lot of great inputs on it. It's got its own standalone channels for mic. It doesn't do what the SX does, which puts them on a channel fader. It's got its own mic controls. Um, yeah. So Santa, you heard me.
Yeah.
I would love this to show up.
How much does that generally run? If you can find it,
Uh,
obviously.
I forget what I want to say. I want to say it's like 18, 19. It's not in stock right now, which has been kind of the other wondering question.
Mm.
Like it's been out of stock for a little bit, and right now we're not at like a year ago when things were out of stock. It's like, okay, chain supply issues, right? There's supply
Mm-hmm.
chain issues. Um, we haven't really run into that lately
No, not so
as
much.
much. So why has this one been sold out in a lot of places? That's been kind of the question mark, and maybe some of your dealers have it, but I've noticed that it has been sold out different places. So I would kind of, I would kind of wonder. I would kind of wonder. Yeah, here, trust me. Jay Brandon would love to do that, but he was told no.
What's that?
About that Jay would send me this Pioneer. He was told no. He was told no. But
and oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say some of the other guys that they were nice enough to go, well, if one fell off the truck.
Nice. Yeah, Dave mentioned should go to NLFX instead of Amazon. I love the NLFX crew, and yes, that's where I would suggest you buy things from. But for searchability and quick to find it, Amazon is way easier. You search for a Denon 7000 as an example when it was there, and there will be 75 different links that pop up on NLFX Pro. It's like, wait a second, this isn't very good at cataloging things, so it's tough to find things there. Generally,
And Ben's aware of that.
yeah, it's just the reality. So that's why when you find something somewhere, that okay, I found the information. It's like, yeah, this is what I want to go with. Then you just call and they will get you hooked up on pricing and everything. So, yeah, it took a while for me to actually. There's going to be some NLFX things on the list here that are coming up, and it wasn't a one click find. I had to go 3 different ways to find one of the items, and was a little cumbersome. It's much easier just to call or to email and say, hey, send me down X, Y, and Z. And they're like, yep, on its way. Here's the invoice, and click pay.
It's always easier to talk to a person anyway.
Yeah, so for sure. Yeah, neat. Yeah,
I like that, Dan.
Yeah, it's a nice controller. I had, when I saw that, I thought that was a neat one too. Much nicer than the one, of course, that I was looking at. But it's also 3 times the money.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not buying it. Santa is.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he's having the elves build it, which then it takes care of the whole out of stock issue anyway.
Yeah, well, that's true. The elves will get it right on that. Yeah.
John wasn't that good this year.
No, I wasn't. So I was only good for the like $700 elves to work on, and not the $2,000 elves.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
All right, so where are we going next?
Cubbie, you got something for us?
Oh, honestly, I am so sorry I'm not prepared. It was a super busy day today, and I apologize profusely, but I like this too. I mean, I do have something in the back of my mind, but I'd like to end the show on it.
Okay.
Because it's a small gift that any family member could get a DJ for it and hopefully just really enjoy it. But yeah, I like that too. I'm ready to upgrade mine. even though it's a Flex 10, can you use virtual? Because I'm not a Serato guy.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Some of the key features that work, kind of like let me kind of show where it was the tabletop piece there. Some of the stuff that works inside the jog wheel doesn't work quite the same. Because that part pulls it from Serato, and so it doesn't exactly pull it from virtual. And then maybe someone come along and correct me on that. But at one point that was the case. Like it would still have stuff in there, but not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's. They've had to change some things with some of the different controllers that have that little LED in the middle, or little screen in the middle. But they've been able to change it and upgrade it so they're better today than they were earlier when that first came out, type of thing. But somebody else would know much more when it comes to that. But yeah, neat.
I'm enjoying your guys' gifts. Holy cow!
All right, John, where am I going next?
Let's see. So let's go to the second item on the list.
Second item on the list. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Nope, that was the first. There we go.
There we go. So just a basic the Platinum Series XLR audio cables from the NLFX Pro. There are good quality cables. Hosta is another company that makes good cables, and many different manufacturers are utilizing, or many different retailers are making their own that have good quality. But I have got probably 20 of those in my kit and things, or my kits that go out, and I've never had a problem with one of their cables. They work well, built well, with high quality materials. So pretty much when I need to have replacing my XLRs as they die from years of use, because I probably like every DJ have 150 of them laying around here, that we've been replacing them, and I'm getting to that point now where I'm going to be ordering another set because they're not cheap. Probably that $14.99 is the 3-footer type of thing, and they go up from there. But it's I think this last spring, before we got into wedding season, I think I ordered 10-foot cables because we use them at a variety of different things, and I think I'm now up to doing a like 10 or so of the 25-foot is my next purchase. Last year I did a dozen of the 50-foot ones, or something like that, 10-12 of the 50-foot ones. So I've been over the years upgrading those XLR cables and stopping using some of the ones that came with the gear back when we used to buy, some of the early controllers that we had. They came with like 6-foot XLR cables that you could plug your microphone in with or something like that, and they were horrible. They were terrible.
The one thing I love about this also is you can get them at right angle. Now,
Yes.
why that's
Yeah.
important is, depending upon what you're doing, but Cubby mentioned his Danny Mac stand, and that was the case for mine. You put a controller in there, unless you get the really big box or you have a really tiny controller, like you need the right angles. And so you don't have to sacrifice your quality. You don't have to go buy some third party right angle adapter or something like that. You can just say, hey, Ben, I need that. And they put that kind of angle on it
Yeah.
instead. So, um, yeah.
Yeah, they're nice, nice, and they've got, of course, white. They come in white now also. I haven't made the jump to that, but in a little bit you're going to wonder why I haven't made the jump to that, and that'll be a discussion we'll have as we get down the line. Simple one this time. Dan, what do you got next?
So I'm gonna stick with the same site, but I'm gonna throw something we've talked about a few
Oh,
different times.
Oh,
The moat. But now, don't get mad. I have a cable tester. I have whatever the precursor to the moat was in like a lime green color. I can
yep.
see it over there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't have the moat. And I put a little asterisk because since Santa was doing this, I want the moat with the USB-C checker in it as well,
Okay.
which
That's the
is
next gen coming.
next gen, right?
Yep.
So as well as whatever maybe other cable that I didn't think about. But that is on my stocking stuffer
Mm-hmm.
because I think that can fit in there. So Santa, there you go. Stocking stuffer is a new moat with a USB-C tester. Like go in the future, grab it, bring it back to this time, or have your Elvis build that piece in. There you go.
So I've got that particular version, and because I bought that when they ran it on one of our shows, they ran a special on those. And that the other day, I spent about 2 hours going through and sorting through a bag of XLR wires that I had probably in the 90s. I had completely forgotten that I had these things. And it was the reason I knew that is this was before NLFX Pro existed. And it was one of our local audio shops down the road here had their own brand of cables. They were made by Hosa. That's where I got into the Hosa world. But I was looking at it, it's like, oh my gosh, there's probably 30 of them. And some of them I wadded them up, and it's like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking back then with the cables? It was like mash, mash, mash into the bag type of thing. It was horrible. I pulled them all out, and I was testing and wiggling and making sure connections and everything. And none of the better quality Hosa cables had a problem. So many of the old American audio and American DJ cables and that came with lights and different things that were in that bag were just crap. They were shot. So, yeah,
There you go.
the moat did its job.
All right. All right. So what is your next one, John?
Let's jump down to because we can't have 7 without 4, or we can't have 4 and 5 without 7.
this is math again.
There's that math again. So
Yep.
so
So I'm understanding now when I'm looking at the list what you mean.
yeah, exactly.
So I just do 4 and 5.
So yeah, let's go to 4 and 5. Yep.
Let's go 4 and 5. Okay. So there's
Ooh.
there's
Yes.
4.
Okay, so what I'm looking at is I've got, of course, my Evolve 50s, which I absolutely love those. And this is actually okay. There we go. I'm going to put them both into the same post here, so everyone can get those here. Love the white, and I've had compliments to people seeing the white at shows, and they're like, "Hey, that is so nice. It kind of fits in, and it looks really nice over there, and it kind of blends in, and it's not this is neat." So I'm liking the white look. So, and I also have been we've been using the 12-inch sub that would go below that. Dan, that's the next one. I'll just do them as a group. The 12-inch sub. We've been using that particular sub. That's the ELX 200 12 SP, and we've been using a double version of that under a 10-inch two-way top, which is the I think I've got the EKX 10-inch that I have above it. And that little system has been a fabulous little system for us to go. And Michael and I have been using that thing at bars and smaller parties here. What we've been doing is putting the speaker stands on, or putting on speaker stands, the tops on speaker stands, and then stacking the subs up. And it's amazing when you stack those subs up, how much bass you get out of those 212s. If you put them on the sides, all by themselves under the speakers, like speaker pole, that type of thing, which I've got the pole in here and everything as we go through. You don't get the same sound quality and you don't get the same bass, but a pole similar to that. Yep, right there. No, the one before that, Dan.
This one?
Yep, that one.
Okay.
You can't find that pole in white, so you end up having to go black. What I liked about that pole is that at the very top is the ability to put the speaker on there and tighten that up so the speaker won't spin. I've added that to I think every speaker pole I have in there that isn't a stand or a standalone stand, but every one it's the M20 threads on the bottom that screw into the sub. We put the little piece on the top there, and again Ben sells those that will allow a person to put the top on, tighten it up so it's snug, and so you can aim that top, whether it's in a little bit, out a little bit, whatever direction you need to have it, and there's no movement of it. And I absolutely love that. That was one of the big things I wanted to share with that. The adapter to put on an existing one, Ben has that one. I think it's a KLM version of it, but that's where I bought mine from, and I could not find that on their website to save my butt. It's there, I know it is because I've seen it there, but I couldn't find it. That's one of those things you say, hey, Ben, what's that little piece that you put on the top of a speaker stand and it locks it into place? Then he'll say,
Yeah, it's definitely K&M because I have, or at least I had, two of them because the old K12s from QSC,
mm-hmm.
they just went like this, right? It wasn't even have to worry about spin. Like they just didn't sit flat because they had that feature to be able to turn the bottom so you could angle it, right? And that just made it so that they didn't hold like stuck in there.
Right, yeah. So that would be the potential, but I would not want that stand for this. I would want to go to, might as well pop over to the Pro X one there, Dan, if it popped up
This
right.
one?
Yep, and then you got to just sign out of that or click
Yeah.
out of that. That particular set of stands. Now, I really don't need those from Santa because I actually already own a set. Because, okay, reality, I would use my Everse 8s as the tops and then the white subs with those stands, which I already own. I already own the Everse 8 white, and I already own those stands. So really, all I'm needing is the subs. But if Santa's going to be just doing it, bringing stuff, he can bring the tops in another set, and I'd be like, yeah, this is cool.
And what do those cost?
Those stands were, I think I got them for $1.25 for the two of them. They are very heavy. They're not aluminum.
Are they?
Yeah, they're a heavy unit, but you take that. The knobs have to be black. They can't get those in white. But you take that and you put the knobs, away from the guests that on the back side of it. And I put those Everse 8s and I put them across the room somewhere, wherever they can go up against the wall. So everything's white and it kind of blends in. And then we're running that wireless jump across the room with the Sennheiser packs, the G4 packs, and that sits up on top so no one sees it. So you really have this nice clean look. And now I have sound in remote parts of the room a little bit more, so that my Evolve 50s don't have to be pushing as hard during the cocktail time. I can have a nice volume here. I've got volume over there. I have microphone full room coverage so that people are like, hey, I can hear everything that's being talked about at the head table with the microphone. Yay. If I have just the Evolves over here, sometimes the people on the other end of the room aren't able to hear the microphone as well as we'd like them to hear. So that's why I have those. But to go with a full white system that is utilizing a dual 12-inch subs stacked, that is going to give me more bass than the Evolve 50s. Love the Evolve 50s, but if I want something that's going to be small enough to fit in a Honda Fit or my Subaru, my Subaru Outback and give me lots and have extra space, this system will fit in there and give me a little bit more hit and a little bit more potential with the ELX 12-inch sub and the ELX 10-inch top. It'll give me just a little bit more than the Evolves will.
How are they coated? I mean, do they scratch at all, or
they have not scratched? I've been pretty careful with them also, but yeah,
Sure.
they're a powder coating, so it's not. I made the mistake on a couple of things. I bought some mirror ball stands that were black, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to paint them white. How tough could that be? Took the little the little scratchy things. The metal one where it's like not like a Brillo pad.
Steel wool?
Thank you, Steel Wolf. That's what I was after. And I used that to take the shine off the black, so I got it kind of down a little bit. And I sprayed it with a primer, and then sprayed it white, and it looked great. And by the time I think after the second show, it was all scratched up and it looked like such crap that it's like, well, I got to find a different methodology. I was not happy with that. It looked crappy. But those have been good so far. Again, I have been a little careful with them, but I think that because they're powder coated, they would be better.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they're $1.25 for 2 of them.
Yep. I think
Even
that's
better,
what,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they were. So yeah, they were a nice look. And again, it's one of those times where when we want to go with that white look to blend in, it definitely fit that category.
They're not the hydraulic though, right?
Correct. Yes, that's
that on
just
there. So yeah.
grunt them up, and well, again, E verse 8's not that heavy, so.
But no,
we
if
would put
that's
them,
what you're putting on them, yeah.
put them up in the air, and then put the pin in, and then throw the speaker up on top or whatever, and off we go.
Well, it's
Nice.
kind of interesting you brought that up. I mentioned new tripod stands. I don't necessarily need them in white. All of my speakers that I have are black. So it wouldn't really serve me any good to have a white version of some stuff. But I've been running the same pair of tripods for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got one that, even though I've got it cranked, it still like starts to, because it's a hydraulic, so it starts to kind of push out. Not when it's up, but like when it's like when I've got compressed and I put it in the bag. So every once in a while, when I take it out of the bag, I have to like unlock it, push it down, lock it, open the bag, take it out because it won't because it's so jammed in there. So needless to say, the bags are really heavy duty. But the tripod has, and I've even got like screws coming out of the bottom. Like I've had these things for years. They just continue to work, and they have a lifetime warranty. I think it's Odyssey. They have the lifetime warranty on them, and which was great. I even got a new crank stand or new crank to try and lock it, but it either fixed one and the other one went, or that didn't fix the problem of the original. I don't know, but just new ones. Santa, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not picky at this point. I'd like the hydraulics just because I'm not putting the Verse 8 up on them. Um, I mean I put my S1s, but then if I do something different, I put my AKXs on them, and they're heavy enough that I don't want to have to do that. No.
You mentioned having speaker stands from like long ago. One of my very first speaker stands I purchased, I believe, was Ultimate Stand, and they were aluminum.
That's it. Not Odyssey, Ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still, those are my favorite go-to. They're scratched up, they look rough, but they're aluminum. They're lightweight. I've had to replace a couple of collars over the years, but it's like they've had hundreds of shows on them, and they're literally half the weight of the Pro X ones. And nothing against the Pro X ones. They're built and have a higher weight capacity. But it's like, gosh, I love white in that aluminum. It would be fabulous. Yeah. Oh, geez, we're gonna have to hustle here. So go to the very top one there, Dan.
Very first one.
Yep. It was the NLFX one. I'm sorry.
Oh, the top one.
There we go.
List.
Yeah, on my list. Yep, there we go.
All right.
An old reliable. It seems like I eat through this the gaff tape, and of the different gaff tapes out there, I've had different versions and such, and I've had some really good luck with the NLFX version. So the NLFX gaff tape is definitely one that. It's kind of like getting socks, because you do eventually wear through your socks every year. So it's always kind of nice to get something for Christmas, that you actually will be utilizing. And gaff tape has almost become that thing. So, as a stocking stuffer Santa, gaff tape.
And as the late great Dan Blankowski used to say, it also works as a great cup holder.
Yes, it does.
The center of that is the perfect size for most cups,
and it helps to keep the cup from tipping.
Yep. Bottles of water, everything.
Yeah, I've done that. Been there, done that. Done that. Dan, what do you got?
My next one is a Rock and Roller R12. Again, one of these things that has taken a beating and kept on working for the longest time. I'll drop that into the chat. It's going to give a whole bunch of extra things in there, probably. Yeah.
I'll put the link up here in the chat, Dan. You can go ahead.
You do it. But anyway, so No, it's been a great unit. I've had mine, I've had for years and years and years. And has worked tremendously, but I just had an issue right now up front where the weld between the two has started to like rip
Ooh.
because I put way too much weight on it one time.
Hmm.
And then had the wheel turn sideways onto me, and then it started to break it. I did get somebody to re-weld it, so I'm in great shape for now, but Santa could bring me a new one and it might be nice.
And if Santa doesn't bring you a new one, this is one of the things that when I think Ben and the crew are going to be in Las Vegas in February, if you are thinking maybe about upgrading for the upcoming year, typically Rock and Roller, they've had a really good show special when they've gone to one of the conventions, whether it's Marquee, whether it's Atlantic City or Las Vegas. So if you're in the market, it might be worth your time, unless you find a killer deal right now, is to hold out until that February show. And then even if you're not going to the show, many times they will add your name to the order, and you can order it and get the show pricing and have it shipped right to your doorstep. One of the most used tools that I've had forever. I think mine is an R12, and it's I've had maybe 10 of them over the years, and my very first one I bought still is the one that is my go-to, and it helps move furniture for families when they're moving. It's hauled DJ gear. If I'm hauling things from the house to the office, it just gone across our yard, dozens of times, hauling things back and forth, Christmas trees, what have you. So, yeah, great tools.
And I would add one of the cool things that also there's two different things you can add to it that makes it even better. I got one of the bags that you can put on it,
Oh,
and then I can stick like my tripods and stuff in the bag. But it also comes with a shelf
Yep.
that you can attach to it, and then it becomes like a portable ceremony system. Like becomes
ooh,
your stand that you can
nice.
put like your gear on it. And the stands, the shelf piece is like $80, and it just screws on to both ends. I saw that a couple of people had that. I have not ever picked one up because I didn't want to go that direction, but I kind of like it just because it
Mm-hmm.
gives that all in one type of piece. And I think Jeff Scott Gold, I think he did a video on it one time where he showed they did that, and that's how they do their ceremony. They just drape a cloth around the bottom half of it.
Nice. Yeah, I've never gotten into that. That would be a nice direction. Because there have been times where it's like, gosh, I need to get a table. And I've even thought about flipping it over and trying to use it upside down. uh, didn't work.
Not so much.
Yes, NLFX does have them, and that's where I would recommend, because they've always been great on
Yeah.
price with those. Again, we're just the Amazon links, so you guys can see them there, and then this is make your list and give the folks at NLFX a call. That's the best way to do this. Somebody on Facebook mentioned get the one with the bigger front wheels. That is actually the one that I have on the other side. I believe it's the R18. It's got the big wide front wheels, and that can go.
Hmm.
Yes.
We've got gravel, and we've taken it across gravel, and it just floats so well over the gravel. The only knock I have on this particular cart is that if I leave weight on it and I leave it set for like a week, say I throw speakers on it and I just leave it sit, the foam tires will have a flat spot.
Ah,
And then once you roll it a little bit, it works its way out. But it's the darndest thing. They will have a flat spot on tires. I'm sure I could go over there because I probably have like 20 pounds on it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we go and look at the wheel that there's a little flat spot on the foam, and it goes away, as the foam it comes back. But it's the darndest thing, because the first time that had happened, I put speakers on it and I left them there from one weekend to the next weekend. And when I was going to go pull the cart across the floor, it's like, it's like, what in the heck is wrong with this cart? Oh, it's got flat spots on the wheels.
I like it because if you have a large lip as you're going over the top of a doorway of a
Mm-hmm.
door jam. And like you said, with gravel, the larger wheels are a lot better. I've gotten back in the day when you used to use grocery carts for the front wheels.
Mm.
And you used to bend those all the time. They just
Oh,
snap right off.
yep.
You got a good lip.
Yep, I've done that on our very first hand carts before Rock and Roller existed. Were indeed that they were hand carts that were the convertible ones where you pull the handle out and you lay it down and you put
Yep.
it in and put the two pins back in. Yeah, those front wheels would be. Yeah, got speakers on, and I'm hauling it across a high school, from a high school gymnasium, and then you hit that threshold, and all of a sudden, it's like, what happened? Oh, one wheel's that way and one wheel's that way, and they ain't coming back.
Nope.
Okay, what else you got, Dan?
So the next one here that I'm going to throw up is the I
Ooh.
ended up having a list that was bigger than that, I realized.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, I've got the Evolve 50s in white. I don't have any speakers in white.
Mm.
And I've had the Evolve 50s since like when they debuted and they came out. I put my order into Ben like while we were at DJX. Like it was like that day to debuted on a Tuesday. I still remember. And it was like I that morning, all right, what's the price? Because I knew I wanted them. Like
Yep.
there was no question. Immediately got on them. So having the white would be awesome. I would love to have that to add to what I'm doing. And just give me that kind of extra versatility. Yeah, versatility. There's the word I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it would be I think it would be great. Um, and then I've got one other, or actually one other real one, and the rest are kind of, make believes. Um, Santa's actually bringing this one to me Thursday, so
Ooh,
Santa's delivering early,
nice.
for me.
Wow, you were
Um,
good.
I was. He didn't even wait till Christmas. He's going to bring it, and he's coming from Ohio to deliver it. But Cubby, you mentioned the Toadmatics. I've got two Toadmatics coming on Thursday.
Wow.
Whoa.
I've got the 55 with the TV. So those of you that know on my cart, I absolutely love my cart, but there's things that I would do to fix it. And I don't have the patience to rebuild it from scratch the way I did the first time. I don't, and neither does my wife for me. So
There's
that's
the.
actually probably more what the
Oh,
issue is.
buddy.
But with that being said, I got a chance to talk with Toad when he was at DJX, just kind of hanging out and doing his thing on that week, and he and I got a chance to talk about his things and his system and everything else, and I was just like, that's awesome. He has a new version of the 55, and I was like, that fixes the one issue I had with the 55. So I instantly ordered it, and then I also got the Todium, which is going to be my ceremony system.
Nice.
So now instead of and it's got the super nice wheels on it, so now I'm just going to basically roll in and pull out for the ceremony system. I don't have to like assemble things the way that I've been assembling them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super stoked about that they're coming on Thursday. So I have to drive to meet him someplace, but Santa's coming from Ohio, and if you
Nice.
so Toad, thank you very much for because that wasn't even going to happen. It was like middle of next year was the next time he was coming to our area.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
out of nowhere he's like, "Hey, I'm doing an extra trip." I was like, "Let's go, let's talk."
yeah.
So my
Congrats.
hypotheticals. I have said this multiple times. So in the beginning we said a hypothetical wasn't going to be on the list, but it is now. Or it is. The one hypothetical is I want an all-in-one light, like the 4-bar wash, the 4-bar try. Like I have a 4-bar try that I've had for years. I love the thing. I want one that is RGBW AUV, or at the very least RGBWA. Because when I'm in tents and I'm doing up lighting and I've got the tent looking, I'd love to be able to have that up and match that to kind of help coat some of the tent for those feelings, for those moods. Um, and just to give me a little bit more options with it. Um, plus the old try that I have, like if the videographer doesn't know what they're doing, I see flicker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that old of the LEDs, right? The flicker that was an issue. But I don't want to get new until I get what I'm wanting. So Santa, if you could have one that's quality, that would be awesome. Um, yeah, there we go.
So the hypothetical, and this has probably been the same one I've been looking for the last number of years, is the moving head fixture, battery powered, that is controlled by a Bluetooth app. So then I can
Ooh.
just basically go with my phone and say, okay, now I'm going to hit sexy mode and the lights do sexy things. Whatever that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they got that in a remote. It's just not in the Bluetooth app.
I want the Bluetooth. I want the capability with Bluetooth because I just absolutely love that for a quick show with that when we're talking about small sound systems and small parties. It's such a great little thing. So that was my the adding to the wish list that doesn't exist. So, Cubby, I think you're gonna take it. You'll wrap us up here. You have
Oh
one left.
wow.
But
Yeah, I think my thing was it's a book by Mike Walter called Today in Music. It's been out for a
Oh,
couple of years. If you
yeah.
do not if your wife is it's a good toilet read. Just enough each day is just enough to get you, as you get your business done. Very 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 resourceful. Interesting, man. It is very, very interesting. And you can read it in 2 years in a row if you got memory like me, and just it's all new again next year. So uh but it is a great book. It's and also any educational resources that you can pick up from any of our friends that are selling educational resources. If you make it to a show, that's another good Christmas list to go to. And anything educational. I know we talked gear tonight, and I got a lot of great ideas. I apologize, I was not prepared, but you gave me a lot of great ideas as well. But yeah, anything you can do, like, but I did like a simple gift that you can get, your wife could get you, your kids could get you, would be Today's Music, Mike Walters' book. I'm not getting anything for plugging it, but I think it's a great read, and it's a very simple read, and something we could all enjoy.
And exactly, music lovers doesn't have to be a DJ.
Yes,
because my copy, I told that I shared it with my father, who's a music lover, and I've never gotten it back. So, but yeah,
You gave it as a gift. You're not supposed to get it back.
No, it was given to me as a gift, and then I shared it, and there's that. Oh, funny. Okay, so hanging with Howie, put the link up, djntv.com/chill. The guys are getting ready. They're going to be, it looks like, I think Eric mentioned they're going to be talking about Santa to bring the crew, so that'll be fun for them to kind of share some things. And then tomorrow we've got the videos, a couple of video drops tomorrow, and then tomorrow night there will not be a Tuesday night with Ben Stowe because Ben is in Boston this week, so we're going to push Ben's show off till next week. We're going to talk about some tips in finding the right DJ headphones. That'll be next Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, Big Daddy show though at 9:00 Eastern. He's going to be having Mitch Taylor on, and he is going to be talking to Mitch a little bit on the weekly Big Daddy show. So that'll be coming up, and then Wednesday we'll have the Tuesday Night Music Show and Hanging with Howie streaming in the evening. Dan's got his morning tips video, and yeah, and then I think we're going to actually, for the next few weeks, we're going to be putting another on Thursdays. We're going to be streaming a couple of other shows because we've got a little bit of a backlog of the library that we need to be getting out there. The guys have been really shooting a lot of content, so we need to get those up. So yeah, there'll be quite a few things coming up in the evenings for you guys to watch if you've got some time. So yeah. We got to go. Holy cats.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We do very much appreciate that. Hopefully you got some ideas or even some own wish lists for wish lists.
Wish lists?
Yeah, you got what I mean. For you to be able to throw out there into the universe. Again, thank you so very much. We could not do this show if it was not for you, whether it's tuning in live or whether it's watching it later. We very much appreciate that. Have yourself a good one. Go check out Howie and the rest of the crew, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.